19th century spiritualist movement, the Dale remains populated by psychic mediums. 6 months ago, Bella had never even heard of this place. She'd just lost her teaching job, and her landlord had sold the house back in Bedford where she'd lived all her married life. On their last day, as she and Max were packing their belongings, a very pregnant stray tabby had parked herself on their doorstep. Max had wanted to keep her, but that was out of the question. They were headed to Chicago to stay with Sam's mother, Millicent, whom Bella had privately nicknamed Maleficent. She had dreaded the thought of visiting her mother-in-law, let alone moving into her immaculate condo, but she and Max had no other family. 8 hours into their road trip, they had come across a nearly identical pregnant tabby. They'd brought her to nearby Lakeview Animal Hospital, where veterinarian Drew Bailey had scanned a microchip. It revealed that her name was Chance the cat, and she belonged to Valley View Manor's innkeeper, Leona Gatto. With a nasty storm brewing, they detoured to return their feline friend to Lilydale. By the time Bella discovered that the village was populated by spiritualists and that Leona had been murdered, the weather and car trouble had stranded them here. Coincidence? No such thing, according to the friendly medium next door. Both Odelia Lauder and Max believe Chance is the same stray they'd left behind in Bedford. She bears such an uncanny resemblance that some days Bella is almost willing to believe it. Most days, being a logical former science teacher, she tries not to. "What are you watching on TV, Max?" she asks.
"It's a show called Rudolph. It's about this little reindeer. All the other reindeers laugh at him because his nose is red. Even Santa is not that nice to him."
"Yeah, I thought the same thing when I was your age," Bella admits.
"You saw Rudolph?"
"Every year. With my dad." For Max's sake, she swallows the rest of the memory. She had always watched Rudolph with her father, snuggled on the couch together. Later, they'd graduated to Hallmark Christmas tearjerkers. Dad always blamed his sniffles on non-existent allergies. Now that Bella, too, is widowed, she's just as prone to emotional blindsides and to protecting her child from reminders of a tragic loss. "Don't worry, Max," she says. "I'm sure the real Santa is much nicer to Rudolph than the TV one."
"Kevin Beamer says there's no real Santa."
What? They're having this conversation now? When she's exhausted and busy, and now, right before Christmas? Now, when Sam isn't here to help her figure out how to handle it? Why would he say a thing like that?
"Because he's never seen him. He asked me if I've ever seen him, and I said, nope, but just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. Like spirit."
That was a good answer, Max. Bella changes the subject. "I wonder how the TV suddenly started showing Rudolph instead of PBS."
"I wonder that, too."
Bella bites a smile, wondering how to handle single mom disciplinary action challenge number. She's lost count today. Lying is a serious offense, and she censors Max's viewing because he's experienced enough darkness already without stumbling across nightmare-inducing TV programming. Which Rudolph isn't, she reminds herself. The ferocious Bumble might be scary for other 6-year-olds, but hers has met more than his share of real-life villains.
"Maybe Chance or Spidey bumped the remote, Mom."
"I don't think so." Bella points at the cats curled up in snoozy balls on the back doormat. Spidey was the runt of Chance's large litter, and Max hadn't been able to let him go.
"Well, maybe it was Nadine."
Nadine is Valley View's resident spirit prankster, according to their neighbor Odelia. Even if Bella believed in that sort of thing, she's certain Max changed the channel, just as she knows that Max, and not Nadine, ate the gumdrops she was saving for the gingerbread men that he's been wanting her to bake ever since he started reading the Gingerbread Man story in school last week.
"Is dinner ready, Mom?"